Alright, so we have just taken the moon gate up north to near you, and we're going to head again just southwest of this moon gate area to go back to Empath Abbey, where we can find one of the barons to ask about another word that we are owed. So just let me finish fighting this tiny horde, and then we will be on our way to over there. Alright, well we've taken a little bit of a whooping here. So I'm just going to try to camp and actually rest up my party a little bit. Because why not? You'll see Hun is really beaten down, and that's just because she's right at the front of the pack. So she takes all of the projectile assaults essentially. And that gave us a little bit more HP to try to make it around with. Hopefully that'll be enough for us to get over to Empath Abbey. Holy smokes, how thick is this forest? And how far must we come? Alright, so we are back. So let's go in, and we're going to head right over to the room with our Baron and Baroness. The healer. As long as we can find them. Okay, let's have a talk now with a stately Baron. And we're going to ask him about the word now. He says, I know but one of 3 syllables. Dost thou wish to know it now? Yes, it is ammo. Seek ye now the other parts. Okay, so this is ammo. And this is, I forget what this guy's name is, but we're just going to write R from Empath Abbey. And I wonder if he'll tell us anything else now. Okay, I wonder if his wife will say anything different to us. Lady Marcy. I don't think she will. Nope. Okay. So that's good. That was quite the long trip for not very much reward. But let's go. Hang on a sec. Let's just check our to-do list quickly. Okay, so it was in Lycaeum that we were supposed to go back and visit somebody named Scatu after we were a partial avatar, so we can definitely do that while we're there. I don't know if that was just kind of like one of those vague hints that isn't really a hint after all, but it is worthwhile to look into just in case. Alright, so because we got here by Moongate, we're going to have to leave by Moongate. And so I'm just going to make my way back there and head back down to Britain. I think it might be a good idea to actually sail over to the other island where we will find the Lycaeum castle. So we might as well do that instead of taking the Moongate over there. But yeah, I'm going to fight this fight, and then I will see you guys back when we get to Lord British's castle. Alright, so we have been in to see Lord British, and we had to fight a whole bunch of fights on the way back over here. But if you take a look at our other information here that we have up in our Shrines and Stones tab, you'll see that we also have some elevation in compassion, which means that we can go off to visit that particular shrine. Now, our notes say that the shrine is located from Britain east over 2 bridges. So let's try to head over that way and maybe go there before we head off to Empath, or before we head off to the Lycaeum. So that was one bridge. Now, is there a second bridge around here? I wonder if this is the bridge. Would appear to be so. Well, let's jump in. And we're all poisoned, isn't that lovely? Let's see what's in here. Oh, there must be our shrine. Okay, well, let's dive in here while we're all poisoned up. Why not? Okay, so we are now at that Shrine of Compassion. So let's choose that. And we're going to meditate for 3 cycles. And our mantra here is going to be MU. Great. So we're going to do this twice more. Alright, we are now a partial avatar in the virtue of compassion. Alright, we are granted a vision. And as usual, I'm just going to take a quick second to draw that and I'll be back. Alright, so that's all recorded now. And that's that. So again, you'll notice that our little doodad at the bottom of our party list has changed a little bit. So we've gained an additional 2 dashes as part of that little display. Now, we are hurting pretty bad right now, but I don't want to actually cure myself until we get back out of these poison patches. Well, great, now everybody is poisoned. Isn't that nice? Okay, hang on a sec. I'm just gonna cure my party. Alright, so I also just mixed us 30 more cure spells because we were running awfully low on those. But now we have a 3 parts avatar. So isn't that fun? So now what we can do is head back over to Britain. Little off course here. There we go. We'll go and heal up. Alright, so there's nothing quite like some free healing at Lord British's castle. But now it's time to sail over to the Lycaeum. So let's hop on our boat and we're gonna head out to sea, but not before we put on our wheel. And that's gonna bring our ship HP up to 99. And hopefully these winds shift for us soon so that we're not stuck sailing so slowly. But essentially, if we sail east for a really long time, we will eventually get to where we're looking to get to. So I just stumbled upon an island in the middle of the sea, and I don't know if there's anything here, but I don't feel like it would hurt to search it while we're here. Okay, so there's a big pile of nothing here, and everyone's poisoned. Isn't that nice? Okay, hang on, I'm just gonna cure everybody. Well, that was fun. Let's get back in our boat then, and keep heading east. We should be there not too long from now. Ah, an enemy pirate ship that I'm going to try to avoid. Oh no, why do I have to go around all of this stuff? Okay, so here's Moonglow. So we can park right here. And the Lycaeum is just right up at the very top of this little continent here. So we'll fight these headless first, and then after that we should be literally just around the corner. And these guys are still pretty easy to kill. I feel like some enemies feel like they're harder now, whereas before when we'd fight them they'd feel really easy to defeat, like the rogues, for example. The rogues feel like they've gotten stronger. Okay, so let's go back in here. We're off to find the final Baron to talk to find the last part of the word. So Robert Fraser, and we'll talk to him about the word. He knows but one of the 3 syllables. Dost thou wish to know it now? Yes, please. It is ver. Seek ye now the other parts. Well, lucky for you, we have them. Okay, so it's ver. And then this was Robert Fraser. And we are currently at the Lycaeum. Now, the other guys gave us some other information, but this guy and the other guy that we just saw don't seem to want to give us any other information about towns or anything like that. So I wonder if we're missing something, or if the guy that was in Serpent's Hole just had more to say to us. Hard to say. But either way, while we're here, like I mentioned before, we should try to find Scatu, wherever he's gone off to, because he was saying something to us about come back and see us again after you become a partial avatar, and as it stands right now, we are now 3 parts avatar, so now would be as good of a time as any. That's Father Antos. Now we just have to track down where this Scatu fellow went off to. Halimar. Nope. Not in here. Scatu. Here he was all along. A tall mage wearing strange armor. He advises. His health is well. Thou would be well advised to visit the seer often. And he wears mystic armor. Art thou a partial avatar? Yes. When thou art 8 parts avatar, seek Zircon in Minok and ask of mystics. Okay, well, we already knew that, and he directed us to Lady Tessa and Lord Simon, so that solves that mystery. So we don't need to come back and see Scatu anymore. Okay, so while we're here, the other thing that we need to do after we fight this fight is deal with trying to get our hands on the Black Stone. And the instructions that we received for the Black Stone involve looking into the moon gate in one of the darkest nights, or something along those lines. And so what we're going to do, since we're at Moonglow, which is technically the location on our map of the new moon, we're going to wait till the moon gate is 2 new moons, and then pop in there and see if we can get our hands on the Black Stone. Maybe it's in the moon gate. But yeah, I'm going to finish fighting these little lava lizards first, and then we're going to head in and try that out. So just hang on a moment. Oh no, these are a bunch of Zorns. These are the enemies that bit that one-handed beggar's hand off down at Serpent's Hold. And they just look like a big pile of teeth, so that's a little bit unnerving. Okay, so that was a pretty tough battle. Enemies like Zorns are tough as nails, but they're worth fighting for the experience, especially because they're so evil. Alright, so we've left our boat there for fun, and now we're just gonna hang out until the Moongate rolls around and try to jump inside and see what happens. And in the meantime, I might as well try camping, because we are kind of hurting a little badly, so let's try this. Come on, no ambush. Don't do it. Nice. Okay, that's always so positive. But now we gotta wait a whole while more for the moon gate. Okay, so now our moon gate should open in just a second. Ooh, there's also a double moon gate at Magencia too. Something to try? Shasha! Nothing happened. Alright, so the thing that we forgot to do was actually search. We kind of just went into the moon gate and got instantaneously teleported right back here. So that's good news. I'm glad that we actually found that. Alright, we're going to get into another Orky Troll fight, and then it's going to be off to Vesper for us. So I will see you guys once I have sailed over in that general direction. So bear with me while I slaughter these beasts. I think we're going to stop off over here for the moment, and this will bring us kind of close to south of Minok, near maybe the little swamp patch, also maybe near the town of Vesper. And we're here because we need to actually get some Mandrake root. And we do need to go back to the guild shop, because pretty soon we're going to be heading into the dungeon. One of the dungeons. And what we're going to do in there is try to search for some of the stones, because we know at least that some of the stones are found in some of the dungeons as indicated by some people that we've spoken to along the way. So we need to do that. But one important item that we didn't actually pick up very much of were gems. And gems have a pretty special role in the sense that they can allow you to see your location either inside of a dungeon or also on the world map. So you can just use a gem, and what the gem does is kind of gives you a really panned out overhead view of where you're at. And if you're in a dungeon, for example, it'll show you different rooms that are around you. You can see where there are treasure chests or other items and things of that sort. So it becomes particularly useful. No, I think we're right around where we need to be actually, because just north of us should be the Shrine of Sacrifice, if I'm not mistaken. It's kind of hard to get your bearings when you're sailing in the sea. Oh right, here's our little swamp patch that we want to actually visit. And I learned a good trick from a friend online. And what he told me was to try to get an enemy to spawn and then to fight them when they're on the swamp patch, so that you can actually get a chest to spawn there, unless you do like I do just then and accidentally get poisoned. But if you can get a chest to spawn there, then what you can actually do is not get poisoned when you step on the square. But yeah, a little slip of the controller like that, and there you go, you're gonna end up getting poisoned like me. And I should stop curing myself, because it's poor Shamino here who needs to actually be cured instead. Now how can I maneuver this? I want to fight him when he's over here. There we go, perfect. Alright, so now when we step onto the square, voila, there is no poison. So the thing with this is we're going to be looking at this particular spot for Mandrake root. And Mandrake root's only available when we have 2 dark moons. So see, we just found some there. So we just have to repeatedly search this square, and then what that'll do is actually give us some Mandrake root, which is actually a really important reagent in a lot of different spells. Like, let's say I want to make where's that one that I always make? Tremor. See, now we have 8 Mandrake root, and we had none before. So anyways, I need to do this for a little bit before we head back off to Vesper. So I'm going to do some mad searching on this block whenever it turns into 2 new moons, and we're going to see what we can actually do. Alright, so we have about 25 mandrakes, which is not too bad. I might try for another 1 or 2 batches until we get up to over 30 of those, and then we will continue to head on our way. So bear with me a little more. Alright, well, we're not having too much luck for the moment. So what I'm going to do is leave that chest there for next time. And we're going to head back in our boat. Okay, so after much sailing around and getting all turned around, we finally made it to Vesper. So let's pop in here. And we're going to head to the guild shop, which should be right over here. And that's armor. So we're going to have to go a little lower here. Alright, so we are going to talk to Long John Leary, and we're going to pick up some gems and also some more keys, I think. That would probably be a good idea. So we're going to look to see his goods, and he says, "Good day, mate," or "good mate," actually. So he has torches, magic gems, magic keys, and sextants. So we're going to get some magic gems, and it's 5 for 60 gold pieces. And I think due to the nature of how they work, you use one and then you kind of get an overview of where you're standing at that point in time. So for example, if you're in a dungeon and you use a gem, and let's say you're on floor number 4, you can see around you on that floor, but if you descend or ascend, you can only see the floors that you're on. You can't see the whole thing. So it's important to get a lot of these. So 5 for 60 gold pieces. We can buy a whole pile of them and see where we end up at. So we have 15. That's 20. We can always come back and get more. Let's just get 40 for now. And then also too, I think we should get, I can't remember if there's locked doors in dungeons, but we might as well get some keys just in case. And that should be plenty. To have 23 keys, I think that that's quite a bit. And I don't think we need to see any more. So that's good for now. Let's take a look at our to-do list. I don't think we had anything else to do in Vesper, for that matter. Alright. Nope, doesn't look like it. So let's head out. And I think what I would like to do is jump back in my boat here, and we're gonna head back over to where that little swamp patch is and try to get some more Mandrake root, because there are quite a few different spells that we're gonna be needing that use Mandrake. Some important ones are Tremor, as I mentioned. I think Up and Down also need Mandrake root, if I'm not mistaken. Mandrake is H on my list. No, I've lied to you. But there are some others anyways, that we're gonna need it for. So, yeah, it's pretty essential. What's nice about the Tremor spell is that it can affect all enemies that are on screen at a time. So for example, if we were fighting a massive horde, we can cast Tremor and it'll deal damage to all different enemies that are on screen, which is pretty imperative. And the enemies that are inside of the dungeons are quite ruthless, so having that option is pretty good. And then that's also going to allow some of our magic users to do some leveling as well, because right now, especially people like Mariah, for example, tons of MP but not very much ranged attack ability, right? So she's still quite low level even though we've had her in our party for quite some time. But yeah, this is our swamp patch. We've put a chest on it, as you might recall, to avoid getting poisoned whenever we walk onto it. And now I'm just gonna wait for the 2 new moons and try a little bit of that searching on this spot again to see if we can increase the amount of Mandrake root that we have. So I'm gonna try that for a little while, and I shouldn't be too long, but I'll see you guys by the magic of editing in just a sec. Okay, so let's see how we're doing here. Alright, so we have 34 Mandrake. I think that that is a pretty good number to have for now. We didn't have that many more before, but we're doing a little bit better than we were. So now we just have to find our boat again, which may be a daunting task. Who knows? It seems like I can't seem to keep track of my boat on this particular continent. I don't know why. It might just be the landscape. I seem to get all turned around pretty easily, which is annoying, but we'll find it. And then after that, I think we can head back to Castle Britannia, get our bearings, and then maybe talk about what we need to do to make some new spells. Because there's a whole bunch of different spells that we're going to want to be creating for dungeon crawling. And essentially, there is up and down, which allow you to move up and down floors. There's exit that you can cast in a pinch if you want to actually leave the dungeon that you're in. Kind of like using the flute in Phantasy Star, for example, or casting Exit by Noah. There's also, like I said, Tremor as an offensive spell. We also need to make a bunch of dispels in case we run into magical fields, etc. So as you can see, we've got lots of stuff to do. So I'm just going to wander around here, try to find our boat. I don't think we're going the right way at all. Nope, we're back in this weird little spot. Anyways, I'm gonna fiddle around and find our boat and get back to Britain, and then we'll talk some more about spell making. Okay, we have arrived back at Castle Britannia, and though we just went to go see Lord British, in the interim where I was wandering around horribly on the sea, getting tossed around and battled against, we haven't been back to see Hawkwind in a long while, so I think it might be worthwhile to just go and see him and see what's going on, because we very well may have gotten some luck in increasing some of those other virtues since we've been gone. Oh, hello, seer friend. When Hun is revived, I see. I always get nervous that I've accidentally died when he says that. Okay, there we go. Alright, so let's just go over to our shrines and stones. So right now we are a partial avatar in honor, valor, and compassion. We can seek elevation and humility, but again, not a possibility for the moment. So we can ask him about honesty, spirituality, justice, and sacrifice. So let's start with honesty. Okay, so we have to continue to be honest, and we might be approaching that elevation after we buy a bunch of reagents for spell making. Let's see about spirituality. We're doing well. So far, so good. But not quite. Now let's see, justice. Nope, not quite yet. And then sacrifice. Okay, we're still the same. So I guess we just have to keep doing more of what we're doing. And then after that, we might be able to get more partial avatar hoods and eventually get to where we want to be.